Happy Tuesday!
Hi everyone, she's Chrissy,
And she's Sissy.
and we're Chrissy
Chrissy
and
and
Sissy.
Sissy.
Hey everyone, like I feel like we back to how like it used to be on the stream yard and everything because I was like, y'all didn't see it and I edited out, but y'all saw Sis and Sis was like,
Because we didn't know which way to go. We don't.
yeah, it's different. But hey everyone, um, welcome back to week 2 of It's Chrissy and Sissy. Y'all back together like we never left.
Yeah.
Honestly though, it feels like when I realized like, oh, I did so many Sunday school lessons, I was just like, ain't I can't remember that time now because I'm just thinking about the good time. But hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Um, you guys, we have another amazing lesson today. Still talking about Joseph. It's going to be some amazing things that we get out of the lesson, some amazing nuggets, and some amazing takeaways that we really get out of this lesson. But before we get into the lesson, um, ooh, I just want to say thank you all for subscribing to our channel. Thank you all for the last video feedback. I'm like, you guys really missed us. I know we had
Thank you so
somebody, had a couple
much.
people in the comments. Hmm.
I just said thank you so much. I didn't realize I was missed that much.
Yes, you was really missed, and it was like I don't want to say magic, but it was the sauce. It was the sauce. The sauce was back. The sauce was back. So yeah, now with my hair like this, I'm like, okay. All right. So yeah, again, we just thank you all for tuning in. And we really do appreciate it. The comments, let us know like what you all think. We'll get a nugget or two here or there. And I'm telling you, like, that brighten up my day when like that notification goes off or when I tune into the YouTube video from my own personal account and I look at you all and I'm like, oh my goodness. And then the likes, like we had a lot of
Mm-hmm.
likes. So if you're not
Thank
subscribed, make sure that you subscribe to the channle. I'm gonna keep that edit in. Y'all know how I am. But make sure
you.
that you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Give it a like y'all did the like last time. Like, like. But
Yes.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop being goofy, y'all. But again, just thank you all so much. And leave a comment down below. Let us know how we're doing, if we're encouraging you. And also make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms, which are where, sis?
At the bottom of the screen.
At the bottom of the screen, y'all. And now, what you've been waiting for, I've been laboring long. We're going to go ahead and bring the Sunday school lesson for you all today. We are talking about how God preserves a remnant. And my lesson says a family affair. Family reunion. And sis,
Oh wow. Yeah. Mine is we're family. I wanted to say we are family since she was singing. But it's we're family. We're family.
oh, you're not going to do we are family?
Well, that's what I thought this
I got all my sister with me.
yeah.
Okay, stop before they take our cars back.
I
All right,
can't sing.
I can't
They're gonna
sing either.
they're gonna take my license. And you
All
know
right, yeah, but
what I have found out is that, and I'm gonna what I found out is we're not as strict as we were when I was your age, Sissy.
yeah.
And I think the reason for that, and this is another lesson, maybe a sister talk for another day, but I must say that the reason for that is because we are basically, God is just like bringing us into the knowledge of winning souls. Because he does say, he who winneth souls is wise. So he's bringing us um, into the knowledge of winning souls now. So we're building the kingdom. So um it's not all about, get the Bible and just beat it. It's just not all about it. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, that was good because I feel like last week Bible Man talked about that and talked about how God's will, and my mom talked, so y'all know I was listening extra
My
careful.
mother, my mother, yeah. She does an excellent job.
But my mom talked, and she talked about that and how like, with God's will, don't talk about, oh, we believe in God to raise this money so we can help. No, just go out there and help the people.
Just
Like
go help
when
them.
she
Yeah.
said that, I was like, drop mic, mom. But again, we're talking about a family affair. We're family, which I think is very strong. And as this breaks down, the closing of the story, we know Joseph going from the pit to the palace, going to the prison, to being a governor of Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
and but it all started with what, the pit, because he was thrown in there not by strangers, not by his enemies. He was thrown in there by his brothers. So
Mm-hmm.
sis, go ahead, take it away.
This lesson, y'all. This lesson, and we're still in Genesis. Now we're over in 45th chapter. Um, this lesson, y'all, brings to light um the scripture. All things work together. Don't care what you're going through, don't care what things seems like, all things work together for the good to them that loves the Lord and is called according to his word. All things, it doesn't matter. This lesson tells us, it brings that out. Okay, so basically what this lesson is, so we go ahead and just break down, go ahead and just do the little story, Bible story, so that we can just let everybody know what's going on. This is Joseph's brothers and his dad is still in Canaan. Now we're here and we're in the famine. Remember last week I spoke about the famine that was to come because um, it's when Joseph went to Pharaoh and he said that instead of them giving 10%, they can now save 20%, so that when this time comes, that they will have enough to sustain them for that duration and to so that they will be able to feed others. So now we're here. So what was about to happen is his brothers was going from Canaan to Egypt to purchase food. So just to just break down everything. So his brothers went, and I may get a little bit ahead of myself. Benjamin did not go. Who is Benjamin, Christina? Benjamin is the baby, and he is Rachel's last born. Correct, sis? He's Rachel's last born, right? So
Yes.
therefore, so therefore, um, his dad was not going to send him, because if we go all the way back to the beginning of the story, we do remember how long he worked so that he loved Rachel genuinely so much. So this is like the last born. So he kept him there with him, and he sent the others to get food and to bring it back. So now here we are, and so exactly what was going on when they got there. They did not recognize their brother. When the governor came out to greet them, they did not recognize their brother, but immediately he recognized them. At this point, you do know that Joseph is governor over Egypt. So he made sure that his family was taken care of. He did not do it openly. He did not do it. He did not do it so that everybody would know what he was doing. He just gave the order. They paid him forward. He got somebody to slip the money back into it. He just made sure that they were taken care of. It. He did little things along the way, um, so that his to make sure that his brothers would return. And I like the fact that when um, one thing that he did, they paid, and then he gave them the money back. He just gave them the money back, not so that they could be arrested or so that they could serve time in prison. But he gave them the money back, I do believe, so because hey, this is my family, this is my brothers. They're gonna go back and they're gonna give this money back to dad. But although originally they threw him in the pit, once again they didn't know who he was. They were still honest men because they were saying, "What do we need to do?" Once they discovered that it was there, uh, in their satchels, what do we need to do? We need to figure out. We need to get this money back because if we don't get this money back, they're going to say that we stole this, that, and the other thing, going back and forth, back and forth. So eventually, moving forward, when Joseph, he came out and he said to them, he said, "Hey, how's your dad? How's your father? Um, do you have another brother? Where's your other brother? How is he?" He was inquiring about to see has my dad passed since I've been away or whatever. He was checking on the family, checking on his people, making sure that everything was okay. We're so before the end, he makes sure at the end of this story you will get a chance to see how he took care of his family. So this lesson to me brings out that, and especially now, everybody, can I just speak about this pandemic and just how um and just how so many people are losing people. Um we're losing people and it has just came just so real to me. People are literally getting getting sick, going into the hospital, they're shutting the hospitals down, and the next thing you know, you're getting a call your loved one is gone. So it's just getting to be um so so important that we cherish our family, we cherish our relatives. The while we have happy times, let's spend happy times with them. Let's just love on them. Let's talk about the goodness of the Lord with them. If we have loved ones that's not saved, let's take the opportunity to have that conversation with them. It is so important now. Let's put aside, let's forgive. Family is family. Let's forgive little things. You stole my bike when we was 3. When we came over your house. Y'all used to take us out in the backyard and beat us up. Okay, I'm 51 now, and we're still talking about things that happened when we was 10, when our mom used to take us over for the family barbecue. Let's stop talking about little petty stuff and let's love each other, even in the church. Even in the church. Who's going to be the president of the usher board? Who's going to sing solo Sunday? Well, it was mine Tuesday night or Wednesday night during evangelistic service. But Pastor favored you more, so that he let you teach the Bible study. He called on you people. It's time out. And I know that we have heard so many times um that Jesus is coming. It's closer now than it's ever been before. But literally, y'all, literally, it is getting closer. When we're living in a time, um, it is what's today? We're in January. We're in January. We've had here in Alabama. We've had a few cold days, but we have not had a true winter. We've not had a true winter. Christmas Day, it was like it was warm. It was warm. Or did it rain? It was just not cold. We haven't had that Thanksgiving. I think it was like 70. So we have to really the Word of God teaches it. I'm going all the way over on something else, and I've been talking for over 15 minutes. But we go over on the Word of God tells us the that it's drawing now when the seasons are when you can't recognize, we don't even know what season it is. So, people, we need to have forgiveness in our heart. We need to love each other unconditionally. Um, the end of the story, the conversation, and then I'm going to let Sis go ahead and talk. The conversation that Joseph had with his brothers was one of this, and this is also found in Genesis 45th chapter. The conversation he had with his brothers was basically this: man, look, it wasn't you that put me in the pit. It was God's will that I go that way so that I can go from, so that I can go basically from the pit to the palace by way of prison. That's just the way that God had it. This is where I had to go so that I can get here, so that I will be in the place to where when my family needed me most, I'll be able to provide for you. So if you would not have done that, you was just a vessel that was used to get me to where I need to be. So I have no hard feelings against you. I still love you. I still appreciate you. How many times I can think of times to where I can say honestly, if I would not have gone through certain things, then I wouldn't be here now. If I would not have, or if I would have moved ahead, if I would have moved ahead and did some things that a weapon that was formed caused me to be put on the back burner for and wait for this time. So I can't be mad about that. I can't regret that. So like no regrets. No regrets, but a thankful heart. Go ahead, sis.
Y'all know that feeling when you in Bible study or Sunday school or however, and you just listening. I felt slick, like I was on somebody's Zoom call or watching a live stream, and
I'm sorry.
I was like, wait, I done. I said, wait, we recording this. I'm up here listening, like, okay. I'm up here looking for mother to see if she looking too. And I'm like, wait, I'm not on Zoom. No, sis, see, it's coming now. It had a little delayed effect, but I told you she was stirred up.
I'm sorry.
No, she started. I was like, okay, she getting in my notes, but I'm gonna sit here and listen. I wanted to point out that in our lesson that we had, it said that you have that lesson aim, but for the young class, we have like the knowledge, what you need to know, your
Mm-hmm.
attitude, and your action. And so we basically need to know the story of Joseph. And I am a very, very stickler on us knowing the Bible for ourselves, knowing Joseph, knowing Noah, knowing if you realize this whole quarter, this is one of my favorite quarters in Sunday school, when they break down Genesis, and we have to revisit Genesis and break down that family tree, because we
Mm-hmm.
got to remember this is the lineage from Abraham. And so what is this one telling us? That even though there was a promise made to Abraham, problems still were gonna come. You
Mm-hmm.
got a promise, but problems are gonna come. But we know we will overcome them. And we will not let the storms like overtake us or anything like that. So that's one thing. But then to know that this is, now I just felt this. This is for that mother, that father that feels like, oh my goodness, what has my child done? Because think if Abraham was alive and would have seen, look at my son, look at my grandchildren fighting over each other in the womb. Um, Look at the trickery that my, if that's even a word, that my like daughter-in-law, granddaughter-in-law, look at what all that done. Let me see. Abraham, Isaac, yeah, look at all that had happened. Look at what my grandson, like, really, when you look at Jason, but when you look at Isaac, when you look at all of that, um they want living up to that family name now. But then you got to remember, Abraham messed up. I mean, he laid down with another woman and had a son, and then sent that woman packing. So that's another thing it's telling us. I'm just bringing out the family affair. But family, we know, is not limited to just blood. And what I liked about the lesson and the lesson aim and the attitude, it says that you should feel protected and supported by people in their faith community. Faith community, that's the church.
That's the
That's
church.
all of us that are called, all of us that are saved, all of us. And I pointed out, I said, feel. Because I think some people, if I tell you how I feel and you respond and say, well, you shouldn't feel that way, because no, you need to accept if your brother or sister is hurting. If your brother and sister feel like you have an ought against them. I know in situations now, and I just speak personal, I'm the type of person, if it's a problem, tell me the problem. But once I tell you the problem, don't come back the problem. You have to accept where people are. I have to
Yes.
accept it. People think I'm bougie. People think I'm stuck up. They think I'm snooty. I have portrayed that and I have to accept it because that's how people felt. I'm not in that season where I'm telling people, well, you shouldn't feel that way. Because I'm not like, no, because you never know. My mom is the nicest person to me that I will meet. She's the realest person. She talked from her heart. She talked with wisdom and authority, and she just tell it like it is. But there are people that walk on this earth that have felt offended by her, and she has to accept it because she. Well, you know what? She'll tell you in a moment. I don't smile. I have to work on my smile because I don't smile. And when she don't smile, she look mean. Sis is like that too. You know, she got her face and how she, looks. And you never know. That's why the important word was to feel protected. I should feel, somebody asked me today, they said, was somebody I had like an issue with, they said, well, if you would go to them, would you want to talk to them again? I'm like, no, because I don't feel like I don't feel like it's not gonna be work. So we have to work on that. And so that is the attitude. It's, hey, when I walk, I feel like my church family, my spiritual family got my back. I have somebody, I'm gonna shout her out. My coworker Meryl is the most sweetest person you will ever meet. That is somebody I can talk to when I'm dealing with stuff spiritually. And I'm not talking about spiritually, and like all of like that. I'm just talking about when I wanted to say some choice words and get out of character to someone, but I have somebody I can talk to that can, before I even get him out, can applaud that, your character. I'm glad everything worked out. I'm glad, nobody
Mm-hmm.
who's not going to support me if I'm cussing, and I'm just being real. I'm not a cusser, but I'm just saying somebody that supported me doing that. And then the action is that once you should feel protected, but in return, to feel protected, you need to give protection. We need to protect and support other members of the faith and community. And so, sis talked about forgiveness. So I'm not going to go about forgiveness, but forgiveness is a powerful tool. But we have to work together. It is not it is not a noun. It is a verb. We have to work together. There is no reason why somebody should be in church or be in this community of fellowship and feel like they're going to be dogged out or dragged through the mud over something that happened, like sis said, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. You mad because of the friends I have. You mad because I look like me. We shouldn't be jealous of each other. I was watching, now I'm fasting from TikTok, but because I had to just stop. I said, it's taking up too much time. But what I saw on Instagram was, and I hearted it because it was like a little clip of somebody saying, don't get jealous of what God gives to other people, which is really the root of how everything started with Joseph, his brothers being jealous. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
jealous of what people have. God do not deliver packages or blessings to the wrong address. Your address, your package is going to be delivered to your address. Oh, they got this. Well, you're getting something custom, tailor made just for you. Yes, she may drive a Benz, but God may have something that's, I look at that. I'm like, I like cars. They're nice. And I said, oh, that's a nice car. But God knows my heart. He knows what luxury car that I really want for myself or what car I really want for myself. And I wanted to bring out something else. You have to humble yourself. The Bible talks about humbling yourself, but I wanted to bring this point. I'm glad the Lord allowed me to remember this. Talking about Joseph. Joseph, and I talked about this a lot. I said, I kept referring how Joseph worked in the palace, and then because he was accused by Potiphar's wife, he had to go to the prison. He was
Mm-hmm.
amongst the people. He had achieved a good amount of success. Hey, I came from, basically slavery. I came from that, and now I'm here. But notice this, how Joseph still had to be humble, because I'm a firm believer that if the famine would have came earlier, if he would have met his brothers in that moment, he would not have done that. It would have been, oh, Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. He would not have
Mm-hmm.
done that with his brothers. He wouldn't even ask about how his father was doing. He wasn't even gonna do that. He was gonna probably showboat it, bragging in front of their face. But what God had to humble, and I'm just a firm believer, God
Yes.
had to humble him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I know that is why I kept sitting on it the whole quarter, the whole lessons, because that's the good part. We have to be humble. And that goes back into the church community. Don't feel like because God has given you your car, whether you rent it, lease it, or buying it, because God has given you your house. He's giving you hair that could go down your back. He's giving you makeup. Don't feel like because you got nice clothes and you doing all this. Hey, let's be real, y'all. We go to Marshalls and find some good name brands. We ain't far removed from where we came from. But how even when we start to go higher and higher in God, and there was a time when we talked about the gospel of prosperity. But what good is it if we look good, but we don't look like a family? And so I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
end it there, and I'm gonna call this lesson how
Woo.
I call it, a family affair. I'm off my soapbox now. Sis, you got anything else to say?
Wow. Wow.
Look, yeah, she helped bring me back. She helped bring me
Do
back.
ya? Wow. Sis, I'm just gonna say this. Since we're talking about family reunion, the when sis said this, so when sis said this about Abraham, if Abraham could see what his sons and daughters have done, yeah, that's in the song, sis. But anyway, sis, wow, great lesson, beautiful talk. I'm so glad that I'm back. I have missed this, y'all. Awesome. It's a powerful lesson, y'all. Get deep into this word. There is so much stuff in here you can pull out. I pulled out forgiveness. Sis pulled out jealousy. She poured out how you hurt each other. She poured out the reason why we have to go through some things. And I did not see that. Joseph had to go to prison so that he can be that was his time for him so he can be prepared for meeting his brother. So he had to go through that. He had to be prepared. Sometimes God just have to just sit us down so that we can hear what he has to say. Because sometimes when we do things in the church or we do things in our family, and our family come to us, even though the Bible says that if if you have an out against your brother, go to him. Or the Bible says, if you have offended not if you feel like that you have offended your brother, but if your brother comes to you and your brother said that you have offended him, what this just said, it's no time for you to start explaining. Well, it was just a bad day for me. That doesn't matter. It was just a bad day for you. You need to just apologize. I do apologize. Sorry, sister, that I offended you. Continue to pray for me. Ask for forgiveness. Will you forgive me for that? Whew, that was a good lesson. That was good. We don't talk like 3 lessons. There's so many things for y'all. Just we can just dig in and just pour out of of these scriptures. This lesson, powerful. We're family. We're family. We gotta love. We gotta forgive. Pride gotta go. Jealousy gotta go.
It
Cause guess
all gotta
what?
go.
None of that is gonna be able to make it into heaven.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And more importantly, none of it's gonna get anybody into the church so that they can go to heaven. It's not gonna call no souls to the kingdom. Cause as a family, we gotta get it together.
So it's no room for it in the kingdom. In the kingdom, we got to get people in. Yeah, we need to get people. Young people are dying. Young people are dying out here in these, yeah, dying out here in these streets. Nobody has gone. Nobody has said anything to them about it. And most of all, when the young people do come into the church, they hear one thing and see another one. That's all I'm gonna say, sis.
All right, and on that note, make sure to study Sunday school lesson for yourself. Dig deep into the Sunday school lesson. As Sis said, we were able to pull out what 3 lessons just in this Sunday school alone. So get in your Sunday school, get in the Bible for yourself, so that way you could be a light in your Sunday school class and just be a light in anybody else's life, just point blank, period. And if nothing else, happy
Happy
studying.
studying.